Good evening, everyone. We'll begin the session in some time. Let's wait for 5 minutes, 7 minutes for other people to join in. I hope that's fine. Yeah. Thank you. I will unmute you, Jyoti. Please give me some time, right? And Noku Kanya, you will be, assigned a supervisor, and that supervisor will guide you and approve your topic. Right, so I would suggest that supervisor is a correct person to approve your topic and guide you more on that. Instead of role played, you can say the relationship between financial literacy and vulnerability of beginners in the investment world. You can define your topic like this. I hope this helps. That's fine. Your research design it's not a case study, right? It is a specific group of traders in context of CFDs. What is CFDs? Okay, everyone. So we'll begin our session today. Um, yeah, that's fine, Nuguganya. That's okay. Sampling design, you can discuss it with your supervisor. And this is fine. What you are saying, it's fine. So you want to specifically have some type of investors, that's absolutely fine. Okay. Fine. So let's begin. So today will be our third class on research methods, right? So today we will be covering about how we are going to deal with the quantitative and qualitative analysis of our data, right? And yeah. So am I'm assuming that I'm audible very clearly.
Miss Malti.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Great. Thank you. So let's begin. Right. So first we'll begin till last session we understood that what is a research title, right? And from research title, how will you frame your aim, your research question? How will you frame your research objectives? Okay, so these things we have learned last time. We have also learned what are the variables, what is independent variable, what is dependent variable, what is the relationship between all of them, right? We have done all these things. What are the ethics that we need to follow in research? We have covered all these things. We have covered what is literature review, how to do the literature review, how to make the conceptual framework, how to make the theoretical framework. All this has been covered. Now the thing is, very important thing of the research project is hypothesis development. It's not compulsory to develop a hypothesis, but I would suggest to give your project a good, I would say, a good direction. It's important that you develop a hypothesis, right? So what is hypothesis? It is a prediction regarding the possible outcomes of the study, which is very closely related to your research uh, objectives, or it is closely related to your research questions, right? So there are two types of hypothesis that we will be discussing, right? Hypothesis is basically of two types. One is null hypothesis and another one is alternate hypothesis, right? We'll come to those examples, but let me give you a background, okay, about it. So it probably provides you the answer to the research question. So let's say last time we were understanding that there are two variables. One is the fuel prices and another one is its impact on airline profitability, right? This is what we have been discussing in our previous sessions. So what hypothesis will tell us? The null hypothesis tells us there is no significant impact of fuel prices on airline profitability, right? And then what does alternate hypothesis tells us? They tell us there is a significant impact of fuel prices on airline profitability, right? So this is how you write down your null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. And when you run the statistical test or run your qualitative test, you come to a conclusion whether there is an impact of fuel prices on airline profitability or there is no impact of fuel prices on airline profitability. So ultimately it is predicting the possible outcomes of your study, whether there is an impact or whether there is no impact. This is simplest example I told you. So for every research question you can have a hypothesis. Okay, hypothesis is mostly developed where you have cause and effect relationship, where you have one independent variable and another dependent variable. So only at those times mostly you have hypothesis developed. For recommendations, for suggestions, there is no hypothesis. Got the point? So what are the advantages of hypothesis? Stating an hypothesis, your study is focused and you are trying to study the possible specific possible outcome. So your study is not vague, it is focused. Another is enables us to make specific predictions. Again, it is focused, it helps us to predict something, providing evidence statistically or theoretically. And it also helps us to have a clear idea of the relationship that our variables have with each other. That is, what is the relationship between independent and dependent variable. right? Then what are the major disadvantages, right? It may lead to the bias on the part of researchers. So it depends, right? You are saying that it has no significance, so I'm making a bias statement here. So hypotheses are always biased because I may say they will have an impact, they will not have an impact, right? There are some predictions, right, on findings. I'm predicting the findings by developing a hypothesis, right? And the hypothesis development may also prevent a researcher from having a broader view of its research topic. But because we have limited time, it is for the MBA certification, so we will stick to hypothesis. That is what my suggestion is. It makes your project very clear and presentable. Fine. So from one research question, there can be many hypotheses developed, because one research there can be one research question and many variables. So from one each research question, you can have many, I would say, hypothesis developed. Okay, you can have a look at these arguments that these people are doing, right, on these school kids, right, and their performance and their behavior. So there are many hypotheses that can be developed in one particular research uh, question. Fine, I would suggest that you go through this particular slide for a moment. When you're done, you can give me a thumbs up. These are not research hypotheses, they are just comments. So from each comment or from each question, these are research questions. From each research question, you can develop a hypothesis.
Miss Malti, I have a question. So we develop hypothesis after literature review, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Can I have any one hypothesis that you can make from all of these research questions in the chat box? I will keep the example here. No, Farida, for each research question, we need to
Yes.
have a specific hypothesis.
Can I answer?
Yes, Dina, please.
But I'm not really sure if I understood it well. So I think it's like they have too much television. This is one hypothesis. Is it?
No. You cannot develop a hypothesis for this one because there is no dependent and independent variable.
All right.
Yeah. So here you can have a hypothesis why the test scores of our seniors have been going down, right? So you can connect these two questions and say watching too much TV will impact has a significant impact on the scores of senior students. This is your null hypothesis, and watching TV has no significant impact on the test scores of the students. Yeah, Hala, very good. Very nice. Okay, so you will eventually develop. We are going to have many examples ahead, right? But this is what my example told you. I told you. So again, for this particular sentence, you can see, you can develop that there is no significant relationship between working at night and having time to study, right? And again, the second one would alternate will be there is a significant relationship between a student working at night and having time to study. So such type of hypothesis you can develop. Fine, let's move ahead. Now, any research will have either quantitative approach or qualitative approach. We had discussed about what type of questions you will ask in quantitative approach and what type of questions you will ask in qualitative approach. Right? Again, I'll repeat. In qualitative approach, you will write down questions which are open-ended, and you will go for interviews. In qualitative approach, you will go for open-ended questions and you will go for interviews. So open-ended questions can be 6 to 8 and interviews will also be around 6 to 8 minimum. Right, so that is a qualitative analysis where you will ask interviews. I'll suggest you can take interviews on telephone, Zoom calls, on on your emails, but your interviews questions should be deep enough that your respondents are giving you a good answers and long answers with explanations so that you can do your qualitative analysis nicely. As far as quantitative analysis is concerned, right, here you will be asking closed-ended questions, right? So apart in both closed-ended questions, which will have multiple choice like a scale ranking, right, and you will have around 15 to 20 questions and you will have responses of around 50 responses surveys. Okay, for both these you will have to do a demographic questions, that is your age, income, designation, study background. Those are demographic questions. Apart from the main questions, you will ask the demographic questions to understand the demography of your respondents. Right, so first we will do qualitative data analysis, how is to be done. Now what is the difference? As I told you, right, I have already told you this, right? Um, in quantitative data analysis, these are based on numbers, right? Because you will be giving them like a scale 1 to 7. So they will be, the responses will be based on numbers. You will run a statistics test on this and you will come to a result, right? And you can present them in the form of diagrams and statistics. Fine. Now, as far as qualitative data analysis is concerned, here the answers are expressed through words, through long answers, right? Here, collection of results is non-standardized. You cannot lead your questions. You cannot lead your interviewers to answer in a particular manner. It will be a big answers, right? From which you have to understand what your common traits are there of your interviewers. Then you will have to conduct the analysis through conceptualization that we'll be discussing. Okay. So this is how we'll come back to this particular slide later on, right, after we are done with the quantitative and qualitative data analysis. I'll first say again, in quantitative data analysis, you will calculate mean, median, mode, percentage, frequency, range. You can calculate all these things because it is based on numbers, right? These are descriptive analysis. You can present them in the form of bar charts, pie charts, line charts, right? And inferential analysis is the relationship between two variables. You have to choose any one, Sabrina. We are not allowed mixed method, either quantitative data analysis or qualitative data analysis. Okay. Now, inferential analysis means what is the relationship between your dependent variable and independent variable. So for that, you will need to run a test like correlation, regression, right? And t-test. So these type of tests you will have to run in order to arrive at a conclusion that what is the relationship between your variables. So this type of data analysis is called quantitative, where we can either use Excel sheet, we can use SPSS, right? Any of these softwares, whichever you are comfortable with. Fine. Then next one is qualitative data analysis, where you will be getting data in the form of answers expressed in the form of words, right? That is question and answer based, interview based. You will have to revisit the objectives, develop a framework, develop goals, develop themes, and then find out that what actually everybody is trying to answer your question. What is an actual answer that majority of them are giving you in the qualitative data analysis? What is a major repetition of words which phrases are repeated in each and every interview, right? So that helps you to develop codes and come to the conclusion in qualitative data analysis, right? Okay, let me answer your question. Mahnoor, we have to do both type of analysis in quantitative data analysis. Yes, Mahnoor. It is expected, right? Descriptive and inferential, right? If you do only descriptive analysis and you're not doing inferential analysis, then you cannot expect any A's in your research project, because you need to develop some type of show us some type of relationship between your variables, either accept some relationship or say that there's no relationship, right? So it's important that you do inferential analysis. Descriptive you will have to do, right? Otherwise, how will you tell us that how many people in your respondents are between the age of 20 to 30, 30 to 40, what answers they have given, whether they have majority of them have given strongly agree, strongly disagree, how they have answered. Okay.
So do we have to make any chart for them, or for the descriptive and inferential, we can just write it in detail? Like what is the sum up of,
It depends on you, Farida. It depends on you.
but in a short note, it's just a sum up of the survey, right? Whatever we have done and what is the result.
See, for MIP, you have to write around 6,000 to 8,000 words. So it's always best to present it. The best way to present your data is in either in the form of tables or in the form of charts, right? So it's better to present it in the form of tables and charts rather than writing long paragraphs. I would suggest present it. It's very easy for the evaluator or the person who's looking at your presentation to understand what you're doing. Then what is Mohammad's question? Let me have a look. Maybe my question is basic. How we will in guess put the answers of these interviews in our MIP? Maybe by using quotations, or there is any other way. So we are going to talk about the type of analysis that you will be conducting, Mohammed. Right, in the qualitative data analysis, this is how I'll be giving you an example, how to do coding, right, how to do open codes examples. And there is a software NVivo, you can use that. It will help you to code your data. Alha, which of them is easier analysis to do? I am not sure, Alva. What type of answers should I give you? It depends on what type of study you are doing, right? For me, I have done all the studies based on numbers. So for me, I have always done quantitative data analysis. I have never worked with qualitative data analysis. But I think both are okay, right? With the help of softwares, you will be able to do them, both of them. I don't think there is going to be any issue.
Miss Malti, which of the analysis will come in the exam?
Jyoti, I'll tell you about the exam, right? Because there is something that I want to tell you, right? Let's finish the qualitative data analysis, right? And then we'll come to the quantitative. Before I come to the quantitative data analysis, I would talk about the exam in detail. Okay. Ali is fine, right? In sales you will ask direct questions, right? You cannot interview the people, so you can use the quantitative data analysis. Okay, now let's come to the qualitative data analysis. In qualitative data analysis, as I told you, right, you will be doing the in-depth interviews with your interviewees, right? And to these interviews, I would suggest whatever script you are getting from your people, right? Whatever scripts you are getting from your interviewees, preserve them, right? Preserve them somewhere, right? Preserve them in the form of document, hard copy, emails. If it is emails, if it is a Zoom call, preserve the recordings. It's very, very important. Sometimes a university may ask them, until and unless your viva is over, don't discard your scripts of the interviews. That's the one thing. then you will be having a big it's better if your interviewees don't give you answers in short. It's better that you ask them in-depth questions, right? You ask them, can you elaborate on these and all these things, right? Because you're going to ask them open-ended questions, right? Then you will what you are going to the sample responses from in-depth employees interviews from the employees is like this, right? I feel more productive because I don't waste time commuting, right? Then it's hard to separate work and personal life. I end up working long hours. So this is a question that has been asked, right, to people who are working from home or remote working. So these are some of the responses that people are giving. Then I miss interacting with my colleagues in person. I save money to travel, which reduces stress. Sometimes I feel isolated and disconnected from the team. These are some of the responses. But these are one line responses, right? So you can ask your interviewer to elaborate more. How, right? What do you think about, you can cross question them so that they give you the elaborated answers in qualitative data collection. Right now, qualitative data analysis is of two types. One is thematic analysis, another one is grounded analysis. Right. So in thematic analysis, what you are saying, you are asking the interviews questions to some of the group of people, right? And you're analyzing, you're developing some theme out of it. Now let's take an example that you are doing a review of data, that how do people rate or review some restaurant, right, that is serving sushi. So when you look at their Google reviews, you are taking some keywords from them: staff, ingredients, quality, ambience, right? So you have developed some themes. One, you are saying about the content of the food, another one is ambience and service. So you have developed a theme. So in qualitative data analysis, right, develop a theme of what type of questions you want to ask. Maximum 2 themes is enough for your project. Okay, so develop a theme, or you will be developing a theme after you receive some inputs. It can be either ways. Fine. Then another type of data analysis is grounded theory, where you are start by formulating a theory, right, around single data. So here, theory is already there in the data. You know that theory exists, right? And you have asked questions around it, and you are either accepting a theory or you are just rejecting a theory that no, this is not applicable to this particular group of people, right? And or you can do a grounded theory where you are doing something, right, which is very new in the market, like AI in healthcare, AI in teaching, right? AI in sales. These are very new topics, emerging topics. So you are developing a theory, researching a topic, right? Then you are analyzing a data and saying that, does grounded theory have any existence on analyze after analyzing the data or not, right? So I would suggest any of this is fine, right? You will be able to do it easily in the qualitative data analysis. Now there are 4 steps when you're collecting a qualitative data, right? The data would be raw. It will be in the form of paragraphs for all the questions, right? So that's called raw data. So first you will clean the data where you have lots of noise, which the words which are not useful, the things that are not relevant to the interview questions, you will remove those things from your data. That is called data cleaning. Then data reduction is called coding. Data interpretation is called coding and clustering. And data representation is called telling a story. Fine. So these are 4 basic steps which we will be discussing in detail right now. Now, what is coding? You can see here, right? Coding is
Ma'am,
basically,
just a second. Sorry, before you start with the coding, I have a quick question. This is all related to qualitative, that is related to open-ended question, related to interviews, and related to
yes,
this thing,
yes,
right? So if I am focusing on surveys and questions quantitative, it will come afterwards, is it?
yes.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
So right now we are doing qualitative analysis, which are open-ended questions where you have uh, answers to your questions in the form of words, right? In form of paragraphs. Now you have a transcript, right? You will have a transcript. You will find out some quotes, right, from your transcript, small quotes, right, from your transcript, and you will group them, right? So that's called coding. That's called coding, right? So I'll tell you again right here. In qualitative analysis, coding is a process pursuing data for categories and meanings, so themes and ideas. As I told you, right, in the previous example, we had asked questions on remote working. So some people were saying that we feel disconnect. There's no work-life balance. They feel that there is lots of time saving. Some people are saying so. You can have ideas and themes out of it, right? So then these systematic themes at a later stage helps you to compare and analyze the whole data. We'll come to the examples, don't worry. Right now, this is a simple example, right, of how you can develop a course. Now one of the interview uh, reading is this, right, and these are some of the codes developed. Just have a look what I'm trying to say. If you read, it will be better. Now, in the sample interview, it is saying sometimes, right, what are the challenges students faced in online learning? Sometimes the connection is poor, they get disconnected during lectures, they find hard to stay motivated, right? Internet connection, disconnect during lectures, motivation at home, distractions, right? Replay of recorded sessions helps them to flexibility. So these are some of the quotes that you can take out from these particular interviews. Majority of the field people will have these words repeated, right? So you will develop short label categorizing quotes from all the 6 to 8 interviews and put them together, right? Put them together. So this one, internet connection is poor, this is a technical issue. Disrupted learning is another issue. Low motivation is third. Fourth is home environment challenges and flexibility in learning. So everyone will give you some codes under these categories, right? So this is how your coding is done. Then these codes are divided into categories. Now, technical issues and disrupted learnings, right? They can be clubbed together, right? Home environmental challenges and low motivation can also be clubbed together. So these are called technical issues. Technical issues, disrupted learning, these are technical barriers. Psychological barriers is low motivation. Environmental barriers can be home environmental challenges, right? Then learning support, flexibility in learning. So you can group these codes into various categories. Right, so you can group these codes into various categories. Hala, these categories you will develop along using literature review and as well as what are the interviewers telling you. Yes, but the majorly comes from the literature review. Okay, and Morris, you can use different theories for or different methods of analyzing your qualitative data, that's fine. I'm not using bronze and clock 6 steps. You can use it, there's no issue with that. Then selective quotes, right? That is selective quotes is the last step in grounded theory, right? Where you connect all your categories together to one category, right? So quotes will give me category and categories will give me a core category. So first theme is barrier to effective learning, technical problems, low motivation and distraction at homes. This is barriers, right? Then second theme is opportunity for enhanced learning. Here the positive points here will come and negative points are here. So positive, the people have only said one, flexibility and access to recorded sessions, right? So you will have two themes here. One is barriers and another one is opportunities, right? So core theory ultimately represents central thesis of your research. So core categories will help you to come to the conclusion that what are your final conclusions. Okay. Now, if you see here, right, this is an example, open quotes, right? This has a conflict, equality component. So this is what it is about the organization culture. The study tells us about the organization culture. So here, conflict, equality, compromise, listening, sharing ideas, role clarification, and diversification. So these three are collaborations, these are communications, and these two are understanding teams. All the three together comes to the teamwork, and the theory is built. Okay, so if you are doing the qualitative analysis, the outcome should be presented in this manner. That would be very, very presentable and will, make your research very good if you arrive in such type of final output in the form of figure. Fine. So this was how you identify your thematic analysis, right? And grounded analysis. Now, another type of qualitative data analysis is content analysis, right? So, a content analysis, you are basically finding a research method where you're identifying patterns in recorded communications. You can do this also, right? Whatever content you have got it from the interviews, you can you do the identifying the patterns of the communications, right? So there are two type of content analysis: conceptual analysis and relationship analysis. So in conceptual analysis, you are just determining the existence of the words. So till here, if you do, right, till finding group of categories, you are just finding the existing words. But when you move to the selective codes, you are developing a theory. So it's important, right, to go ahead, not only look at number of words, but you come with the outcomes. That's called relationship analysis. In conceptual analysis, you are just counting that for how many times person has said barrier, internet, motivation, right? But you're not finding any relationship between these words. That is a conceptual content analysis. And if you are finding a relationship and trying to find a conclusion on the type of relationship various variables have, various codes have in your data, then that's called relationship analysis. Okay, am I making sense, guys? Yes or no? Fine. Now, this is a classic example of, I would say, qualitative data analysis based on secondary data, right? We cannot do this type of analysis for our studies because it is based on secondary data. Now, the analysis here, the data is that in this particular research, the sample data is of 25 companies' sustainability reports, right? Where they are reporting ESGs. And the sample is taken from the 500 Fortune 500 companies. So my population here is Fortune 500 companies. My sample is 25 companies. And what is my source of data? Sustainability reports. Okay, that is ESG, environmental, social, and governance reporting. Now, what are the code categories that I'm looking into these annual reports, right? I'm going through these annual reports and I'm seeing that how many times these type of words are being repeated. That is environmental commitment, social responsibilities, governance and ethics, stakeholders involvement, and greenwashing indicators. Right? So how many times these particular words are words under these categories are repeated in the sustainability reports. So this is called content analysis. Right? So I can see here is that right, count the frequency of words, count how many times sustainability appears in the annual report. That is one thing, that one type of analysis that can be done. And in qualitative, you can find out that explore how CEOs describe innovation and their speeches. Right, now coding examples. In environmental, we aim to be carbon neutral by 2030. This is one of the examples, right? Then in social responsibility, we see we support local communities. This is a social responsibility code you can find in some of the, I would say, in their sustainability reports. Then we have appointed an ESG committee, that is governance and ethics example, coding example. So a software will be able to find out these coding examples if you give them coding categories. Now, what are the findings of this content analysis? Environmental commitment comes 95% of the reports have this content on environmental commitment. Social responsibilities, 85% of the reports have the codes on the social responsibility. Governance, they have 70% reports contain codes on governance. Stakeholder engagement, only 40% sustainability reports have such content. And greenwashing indicators, only 10% of the sustainability reports have this. So what is an interpretation here? Most firms discuss environmental actions but lack evidence or stakeholder transparency. So such type of content analysis is done on the secondary data. You can do such type on your primary data interviews also. You will have to develop your code categories and find words under them. So first, yes, as I think Hala has asked, that you will develop your categories using your literature review. Right? This type of analysis can be used in secondary data analysis, and you can also use it to write your descriptive analysis. Okay. Next comes is narrative analysis. So till now we understood content analysis for counting. Now let's come to the next one. So this type of analysis focuses on topics and analyze data collected from the case studies or surveys or interviews, right? Here in this, narrative analysis is done on the data where there is a story or experience shared by the interviewees. So example where the narrative analysis can be done is employee experiences, exploring leadership styles, customer journeys, sales, right? Or healthcare journeys, experiences, all those things. On such type of research topics, you can run narrative analysis. Fine, does it make sense, guys? Okay, Reena Mahnur, thank you. Yes, you can. In qualitative data analysis, you can mix the different types of analysis. You can also do content and narrative. That's fine. absolutely fine. That will bring out very nice analysis, but don't mix qualitative and quantitative. Now, in narrative analysis also, right, you can have two types of analysis. So till now, in the beginning, we understood about the thematic analysis, right? This is what the thematic analysis is, right? These are thematic analysis. Now, for your research projects, thematic analysis is more than enough, right? It's easy to implement, right? You can go for thematic analysis. But if you want to go for narrative analysis, that's better, right? But thematic analysis is simplest. That is developing open codes, axial codes, selective codes, and dividing them into categories. Fine. Now, in narrative analysis, right, there are two types: thematic and structural. So here, codes and categories are help us to analyze each narrative. First, you will do your codes and categories as you have done earlier, but now you will analyze them, right? You will analyze to understand, how a particular theme is developing, or how the relationships are happening, or how one entrepreneur's journey is moving from one place to another, right? So that is how your thematic narrative analysis happens. You try to build some relationship between the themes and codes that you have developed in the thematic analysis. That's called thematic narrative analysis. Then in structural narrative analysis, you are going to make use of how the narrative is constructed, and in the language is used, rather than what is it all about, right? Whether let's take an example: structural narrative analysis, right? Here, manager is sharing his experience, right? Like when he got promoted on to the operations manager, how he inherited a team that was resistant to new technology, right? How he faced lots of, backlash, resistance, right? People were worried about losing their jobs. So he tried to convince them, motivate them, involve them in the small projects, and then finally he was able to get some support from the employees. So here, this particular experience has some structure. It started from beginning to the end, right? So orientation is when, right? What problems, right? There's a structure to this interview. So you can go for structural narrative analysis also. How the person started the journey, how is the resolution, what is a structure of analysis. So you can ask people such things. But it's difficult to, I don't know about, you can do in healthcare, AI implementation, leadership styles, right? But not all. In financial sector, you cannot do structural narrative analysis, right? Or you can, for one of the people asked the influence of financial illiteracy on the investment decision. You can also do here, right? Narrative analysis, but it depends on what type of analysis you are going. Right, then so 1 minute. Yeah. So thematic and grounded theory we already understood in the beginning, right? That, and so now another one is disclosure and analysis. So this type of analysis uh, is when people say in social and cultural context, right? So discourse analysis explores how discourses construct or constitute social reality and social relationship through creating meanings and perceptions, right? So basically, you are basically testing the social and cultural context. That's called discourse analysis. So its example is a dominant discourse of Gender often positions women as gentle and men as heroes. This is mostly evident in published literature and stories as well. So you have some theory, you have some disclosures in the literature, and you want to test that. So that's called discourse analysis. Right? You will have to go through some social and cultural context, right? Analyzing their content and then come to the conclusion. But this is not again applicable to us because we are not doing anything on the secondary data. Fine. Right. So one of you said that how are we going to do that? So one of the data analysis tool that you can use is software called NVivo. Right, so NVivo, you can download the trial version and use it for analyzing your data. So you'll have to put your script in that, right? You will have to put the categories of codes, and NVivo will help you to develop some categories and thematic analysis. You have to give them instructions in the NVivo, and then you can do your qualitative data analysis. Okay, fine. Um, any questions for me? So NVivo, you can look at, there are many videos available and guidance is available on how to use NVivo. You can use it. It's simple to use it, right? NVivos. But for NVivo, you will just need one important thing is the interview scripts. If you don't have any interview scripts, it will be very difficult for you to run the NVivo. Because for using NVivo, you will need a perfect record of all the interviews, right? You will need to have, or if it is an oral interview through Zoom, you will have to make the transcripts, right? Then NVivo will make the read the data and make the codes for you. NVivo helps you to make it faster and efficient, right? It allows you to summarize your codes from the large data set. So it is basically very helpful in analyzing your qualitative data analysis. Fine. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Am I audible? Am I visible? There's lots of silence in the class. So okay. Fine. Great. So before Alva, you will have to download it on the internet, their official website. You will have to download their trial version, right? So when your interview scripts are ready, you can download the trial version from their website.
We need all to explore it, I think.
Can you repeat, Dina?
You ask why everyone is silent. I think because maybe we no one used it before. I'm one of them. So like I think like we need to explore it first, so everything like comes to real, you know. But
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, you will have to explore it, right? And at the end of this session, right, there are some video links given, right? You can use them. When I'll share this PPT with you all, right, you can use these video links to understand NVivo also.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, fine. So before we go ahead, right, Alva, no, we are not getting any demo on how to use NVivo. I'm sorry about that. Right. And now, okay, then I will share some small quiz on qualitative data analysis so that you can revise your concepts. Right. It's a small quiz of 20 questions. So, shall we start? Okay, just a moment. I'll just share the link. Yes, you can join. I've shared the link. Yes, anyone is finding it difficult to join? I think by now you are able to join the quiz easily. I can see many of you have finished. Let's wait for 5 more minutes for others to finish and then we'll continue our session. Okay, wait for 5 more minutes for others to finish. Okay, last 2 minutes, people who are yet to finish, and then we'll begin the quantitative data analysis. I hope you had a revision on the concept of qualitative data analysis. Okay, everyone. So I'll stop sharing. Right. So we had a good revision on what is qualitative data analysis. Fine. So shall we begin the quantitative data analysis? Yeah. Okay. So in quantitative data analysis, right, before we go to that, I would just like to inform that I think Jyoti asked this question that uh, what type of analysis will come in the exam. So the type of analysis that will come in the exam, we are not very sure because we had a meeting with about a team yesterday, and they said that they are going to probably change the style of exam, and we will come back to you on the type of exam that will happen, right? So I cannot commit anything that this type of questions or this type of analysis will come in the exam. But whatever we are learning, definitely from that only the exam will come. So exam pattern may change, but they will come. The Abode team and Westford team are working together on that, and we'll come back to you. And don't worry about that; you will be given clear instructions.
Okay, Miss
But we don't
Malti.
have.
So, I just wanted to know. So, we will still have the multiple question and statistical analysis, right?
And Jyoti, there's no clarity to me right now, right? Definitely, multiple choice questions will be there. I mean, that is there, but on these topics only. But how much weightage will it have? How the paper pattern will come? I'm not very sure
Okay,
But
so
because
I'm sorry.
the
I'm
questions.
sorry.
So, sorry. So, basically, what you told us about that, the numbers of multiple questions and all those things,
yeah,
is it going to
they
be
may
still
change.
same?
No, they may
No.
change. They may
Oh,
change.
okay.
Yeah.
And you said that it will come together in the Word format. Then we have to make it
I'm
in Excel. Then
everything can change, right? So we had a
oh,
meeting
okay,
yesterday. Yeah, we had a meeting yesterday. So I spoke to Dr. Bindu. You will be briefed and we'll take some additional session for that, right?
okay.
I think Dr. Bindu will take an additional session for that, and she will brief you on what type of exam will it come.
So
Okay.
before 14th
Excuse
Feb,
me.
right?
I'm sorry, um, Dina, let Jyoti finish and then you can take the questions. Yeah, Jyoti, what is the question?
Before 14th Feb, we will come to know about the. You said Miss Bindu will take
See,
the
if there
session.
is drastic change, the exam date may be postponed also, right? So don't worry about that. You will be given enough time, right? You will be given enough time. So don't worry about that. Okay.
Ma'am, since
Thank you.
today is also our last session, I think it is better for us. I don't know if Salma is there in this call. We should at least have 10-15 minutes extra with Salma taking through us on our LMS in terms of in terms of where to go when we are doing the reports, how to upload, how to, I don't know. I think it is important for us because in our LMS it still shows the exam is on 7th of February. So I'm a bit confused on this. Of course, we have received the email that it is on 14th of February, but I don't know if Salma is there in this call or not. Salma, I don't know if you are there. If we can have a few 15-minute session, I think it will help every one of us here in the team call.
Okay. I will ask Salma, right? If she will be able to do it now, or they will send you some. Generally, they send you the instruction documents, right?
Yeah,
On the
but it is
yeah.
always better for them to also show us because this LMS is new LMS site where I
Okay.
was struggling to log in. Finally, today I got the login and I was able to log in. But again, if I go through it, it has a lot of information that it is better if the university team or the Westford team can also quickly show us how to go, where to go, how to because exam is on 14th and everyone will panic, right? Where to do. If we at least know how, where, what to do, at least we will be comfortable using on this platform once we finish our exam. That's what I meant.
Okay. Okay, I'll speak to Salma, right? During our break, I'll speak to her, and if she's okay, or is there some other process they generally follow all the time, then I'll let you know in the break, because this is a new request that I am right getting today. So I'll speak to Salma. She's there in the call, but I think she is because she's simultaneously on another call also. So I'll speak to her, right, and I'll come back to you on this after the break.
All
All
right,
right,
thank you.
Miss Malti, can I speak now?
Yes, Dina, please.
Yeah. So just as I understood, so they might postpone the tests, which is they postponed it in the first place on February 14th. Now they might postpone that test as well.
They may, right? If
Yeah,
the
but
technical issues requires it.
yeah, but listen, I'm like, I know, Miss Mati, it's not your fault, but like, honestly speaking, I'm a working mom. I have like schedule, like my life is in schedule. They cannot just tell me like, we're gonna postpone and then this will change, and like it doesn't work like that. I'm very sorry. Like they need to understand that we have, like, we have a
I
life, right?
understand.
And yeah, so they cannot even like, the test, they might change the test. They shouldn't actually change it now after we at least, like, let's say, understood it. They should change it for the next group, not for us. We need more time, right? And I'm sorry, like in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we have Ramadan. It cannot be like, it cannot work like that. Like, you know
I
what I mean?
agree. Yes, I agree, right? Even I and Dr. Bindu tried to convince them, and we will still try to convince them that this implementation should come from the next time, right? But you know,
I
we
know, I
have,
know, it's not your fault. I know it's not your fault, but it's like you're the only one we can talk to.
yes, yes,
So you,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I will convey your points to Dr. Bindu, and even we discussed it same thing yesterday before we met about a team. And if I mean, we can get lucky, and they may not change, right? So, but they were little reluctant that they want to change it. So let's see, right? Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Hi, Dr. Malti. Uh,
Yes, ma'am.
is what I understand is you don't have MCQ questions anymore. The test.
Mary, you will get all the instructions, right? I'll ask Dr. Bindu to send it to you, or even I will send it to you, or we will have additional session with you to instruct you on the new pattern if it comes, right? Right now, we don't have any idea about what the Aberte team is going to do, but MCQs will be there definitely, but how much weightage we don't know,
So
right?
no, because for last 2 weeks, what you had last, I think 2 weeks before, where you had given us a 50 or 150 MCQs and all. So I
Yes,
was going,
yes.
I mean, I was going through that, and also I thought that half of them will be coming from
See,
this.
something will come from that because our content remains same.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. No,
Even
what I meant
yeah,
is
and
like,
there are no descriptive questions. There
yeah,
are
yeah.
no descriptive questions also.
No,
So MCQs will be there, but how many marks, what pattern, right? Earlier we used to give all of you the same question paper. So now you may have different set of question papers. So the pattern will remain same, MCQ style only, right? And the content
okay,
also remains same, but
okay.
I'm not very sure that how many marks will be for the statistics, or how many marks will be the theoretical part, and in what manner the exam will be conducted. So only that is different. Otherwise,
Ah,
MCQs definitely will be there.
same, same. Okay, okay. I thought that the whole MCQ is only going to change, and
No,
like
no, no, no. The
I was going
content
through that,
and
and
MCQs and what statistical things we'll be learning today, they all
hmm,
remain same. They may
okay,
not ask you to run the statistical test, but they may ask you that what is wrong with this statistical test, right?
okay,
So yeah,
okay,
so everything remains same, content remains same, statistical test remains same, but the pattern of the paper may change,
okay.
right?
Understood,
Which will
understood,
include MCQs. Yes, it will
understood.
include MCQs,
Thank you, ma'am.
definitely. There is
Thank you,
no descriptive answers.
thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, Manur, you can practice those MCQs. You can go through our slides because the content remains same, right? We don't have difference in content. Okay, so don't worry about it. You will get to know as soon as possible. We'll try our best, right? They had said that they'll come back to us. Maybe the talks have already begun, right? The talks have already begun between the teams. Okay. Now, shall we go ahead and discuss what is quantitative data
Just
analysis?
one question from my side, ma'am.
I,
Yes, yes.
Apparently, in the last class, we discussed that there will be an Excel sheet you'll be sharing with us that will be part of the calculations of the statistics
Yeah,
in the exam.
yeah.
So probably if that can be covered, I will appreciate that.
Um, um, Sorry, what was the last sentence that you said? Last time I said Excel sheet will be shared with you. Yes, I will be
Yes,
doing
yes.
that, but whether it will be the part of the exam or not, I'm not sure. And I'm really sorry about that. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
I will be covering today, right? So that's the agenda for the next 2 hours, right? So don't worry. And that's simple. You can, at least you can use that Excel sheet, that practice for your projects, right? That definitely helps to do the data analysis for your own projects. Okay, fine. Now let's go for the quantitative data analysis, where you will be doing a questionnaire, right? Where you will be having a closed-ended questions.
Miss Malti, so sorry to bother you. Last questions. Just wanted to know. So, for example, when we will get the question papered in our LMS, okay, once we fill up the MCQ and the statistical analysis, we will do it. And if there will be any technical error in submitting on the LMS, we will send you the email directly with our answer sheet and CC to Salma, Miss
Yes,
Salma, right?
yes.
All right. Thank
Salma,
you.
Raya, me, Dr. Bindu, right? Any of us. But Salma and Raya should be there. Salma should be there.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Dr. Multi, I raised my hand. If
Yes,
you
Salma.
allow me, please.
Tell me.
So I just posted a question on the chat, and I can see many of the other students responded back. It's mainly about the login details for the university. So we have been told in the orientation that we're gonna receive the login details within 2 weeks, and now it has been like I think more than 2 weeks, and we haven't received anything. I guess there is a couple of the students received it, but I can see from the comments that majority did not receive. So any expectation on this when we're gonna be able to receive the login details?
Um, just a moment, right?
Sure.
This again, right? Salma will be the right person to talk about this, because these things
Mm,
I don't have control, because I'm from the academic team and Salma
yeah.
is from the coordination team. So
Okay.
I will definitely convey all your questions to Salma, and she will definitely send you an email regarding your
Yeah.
answers about the LMS, how to use the LMS, and the login credentials of a birthday. I have made the note, right? Even I
Thank you
have
for this.
messaged.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you for this. But I guess, as Dina mentioned before and the other team members, I guess it's important to have a quick call with Selma to identify, to answer all our questions if possible. So if you can please pass the message to the management,
yes,
that would be
I will.
great. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes, yes. Okay, so let's begin this some content of quantitative data analysis, and then we can take a break. And in break, I'll speak to Salma, and then I'll come back to you with the updates. Okay. So let's talk about the quantitative data analysis. So here the data, any data that we will be dealing in quantitative data analysis will be of either of these types. That is called discrete data and continuous data. This is purely arithmetic concepts, right? So in discrete data, it's only particular numbers. That is, you can't have numbers in decimals also. So you will have to have a rounded numbers, right? Certain data types, like if you are saying agree, disagree, then you will have 1 to 7. You cannot have 1.5, you cannot have 4.5. Or if you are asking a, a count of students, right? You cannot say 22.5 students, right? Or if you are saying that how many years of experience do you have? So if you want to keep it discrete, you can keep in number of years only. But if you want to keep it continuous, then you'll have to keep any numerical value, that is 22.5 years, 34.5 years. It depends on what type of data you want to deal with, right? So for generally for demographic questions like salary, age, weight, right, gender, you always go for discrete data because it becomes easier for you to present the data. Now next one is continuous data, where any numerical value is acceptable, right? So here uh, height of a student can be in decimals, right? The temperature of the body or temperature of the weather can be climate conditions, temperature can be in decimals, right? So that's called your continuous data, where your number can be in any numerical form. That's called continuous data. Now, in continuous data, also, if you would see, there are two types. One is interval data, and another one is ratio data. Right? One is interval data, and another one is ratio data. So, in interval data, if you see, the data can fall below zero, and it can be positive or negative data. This is, arithmetic concepts, and ratios can never be equal to zero and below zero, right? So, if you say the height and weight ratio of a person is equal to zero or below zero, no, that's not a correct answer. So when you're collecting a data, you have to make sure that when putting your questions in the Google Forms, you are making those settings in the Google Forms so that they accept only pure numbers with decimals. The number should not be less than or greater than particular number. So all those things you will have to keep in mind when you're developing a questionnaire. Otherwise, if people enter unwanted numbers, then those responses will become invalid for you, right? Those responses will become invalid for you. Okay. Fine. Now let's come to the next one. Now, quantitative data analysis, the main points to remember is that here data is analyzed to produce meaningful information, right? We'll be playing with numbers in quantitative data analysis. We'll play with numbers in order to produce some meaningful information out of it, right? Otherwise, we'll just see the number of students in the class, height, weight. These are pure numbers, right? So you have to produce a detailed information or meaningful information from the data. For quantitative data analysis, only computer software analysis is used, right? You cannot do it manually, right? For running a computer software analysis, you have to prepare your data analysis carefully, right? You have to prepare your data carefully. So how to clean the data, how to prepare a data, we'll understand today. Then researchers need to know that what type of charts, statistical techniques they should be using, right? So before you actually start the data analysis, you will first understand what type of data you would present, right, in different charts, and what type of statistical techniques you will be doing in your data analysis, right? So data analysis is of two types, as I told you: descriptive statistics, where you will be talking about organizing, summarizing, simplifying, and presenting the data. That is, you will present your data in tables and pie charts, right? So you will say that this is these many respondents are having an age of 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. And then you will talk about the demographics. You will talk about how many people said strongly agree, how many people said strongly disagree. So all those things become descriptive analysis. And in inferential statistics, you will talk about what is the relationship between your dependent and independent variable, right? And then you will talk about whether the hypothesis is accepted or rejected. right? So there are two types of statistics analysis in quantitative data analysis. And if you do only descriptive analysis, then your study will be your descriptive study, right? So you cannot expect a on this, right? For getting a, right, or for reaching for a, that is distinction, you need to have some inferential statistics. Fine. Right, so before we move into our next category, I would suggest that let's take a break for 15 minutes and we'll meet after 15 minutes. Is it okay?
Dr. Malti, just one question, please.
Yes, sorry.
So basically, this inferential statistics,
Yes,
whatever we said in the descriptive statistics, then we will go ahead with the inferential one. So whatever like dependent and independent variables and the relationship we suggested, we are going to make a hypothesis on that.
yes.
So that will be also in a pie chart or table chart form, or it should be written.
It should be written, and the statistical outcomes should be presented in the table format. I'll show you the format. I'll show
So
you the example.
hypothesis, what I'm understanding up till now, is something which can be correct and which cannot be correct, right?
Yes, so you will either accept it or reject it.
Okay, so that we are going to do it in the end, or we will just tell in this section that okay, this the study which we did, we are connecting it with the hypothesis, or like we are agreeing or we are not agreeing.
I'll show you. I'll show you, Farida. Don't worry. I'll explain it to you. See, I'll show you the slide
No,
now.
because initially also you told right we have to write hypothesis, and then
You
again,
have to write the hypothesis after the literature review.
yeah.
After you collect the data, right, on the basis of data, you will test the hypothesis, and then in the statistical analysis or part only, you will say, this my hypothesis is accepted or rejected, and then based on that, you will give your recommendations and
So,
conclusion.
if I say in a nutshell, after the literature review, we are going to just give a hypothesis like what we think according to the literature review. But when
Yes,
we are giving in the end, it will depend
data.
on the research and the data we get, right? So then we
Yes,
are going to say that are they both comparable or not?
yes.
Ah, okay, now it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So let's take a break for 15 minutes and meet after 15 minutes. Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, guys, are you all back? Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jia, Dina, Kayuri, Mohammed. Thank you, Mariam. Okay, let's start. Bad, Ali. Thank you, everyone. Right. So now let's come back to the how data will be handled, right? So data is handled first. We get a raw data that we get the responses in numbers, right? And then those numbers we have to clean the data. That is, whatever incomplete responses are there or wrong responses are there, we'll have to delete that data, and that's called cleaning of data. So some people don't answer some particular questions, so we have to remove them from the list because we need complete data for analysis. That's called data cleaning, right? So that's called data cleaning. So what you will do first, you will clean the data, then you will arrange the data, right, into numbers chronologically and according to the research paper, right? And then you will present them visually, like descriptive analysis, and then you will explain them with a story, right? So that's what is how data is analyzed. Now, this is how you present your bar chart, right? Let's say you are saying you are asking some people to respond to one particular question, like whether you are able to manage your work life balance in remote working setting, right? So you strongly agree, disagree, so you can put here, right? Most of the people are saying strongly agree, disagree, or strongly disagree, so you can put the answers in the bar chart also, right? Or how many people are of what level, managerial level, CEO level, so you can put it in the bar chart format. That is how you can present your descriptive analysis. Another way is of presenting it in the form of pie chart, right? You will break down your whole responses into percentages and present them in the form of pie chart. Fine. Next is histogram. Again, very similar to bar chart, but here you will have a continuous data, right? Because the bars are continuous. Um, right, then descriptive data analysis, right? So this can be divided into univariate analysis, that is your frequency distribution. You will calculate your central tendency, mean, median, and mode, and you will have to find out the dispersions, that is range and standard deviation. So this is one type of descriptive data statistics that you will be conducting on your data collected, and you will be presenting them in the form of tables, right? You will be presenting them in the form of tables. I think I should show you one example, right? Just give me a moment, let me locate that example. Can you give me a moment? Just a moment, guys. Yeah, I have located my documents, right? So just a moment, guys, sorry. It's loading, just a moment. Yes, I'm able to locate the file. So this is my thesis document. I'm just sharing it for your reference. Right? I hope you will get a better idea what I'm trying to say. Can you see the document? One of you, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes,
Yes, we
we can see.
Yeah. So you can see the first question in my thesis was the age of the respondents, right? Gender of the respondents, right? Marital status and tax bracket and their education background, right? So first is I have shown the age of the respondents in pie chart format, right? And I have presented the same in the form of all these frequency distribution I have presented in the form of table, right? Frequency, that is number, and then percentage. Does it make sense now? It makes sense better, right? That how you have to present your demographics, at least in the form of table. Okay. So this is again tax bracket. How many people? 35% of the people fall in the tax bracket of 5% because I cannot ask them income. Okay. Then the age. This is financial planning awareness. That is my question. So you can see here, I had asked these questions, right? And on that, I have how many people have agreed, strongly agreed, disagreed. What is the total number? What is mean, standard deviation, covariance? It's not necessary to do all these things, but I'm showing you how we actually use data analysis. Right? So then I'm doing the analysis. I've presented in the form of tables, right? And then I have made the analysis. Can you see? Many tables for each type of questions, there are tables. Okay, so these set of question is for one variable. Because in PhD, there are many variables, intervening, moderating, right? So there are many variables. Make sense, guys? Shall I come back on my main screen? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, right. So it's better to show your data analysis in the form of tables and give a small explanation below that. That's more presentable, right? I am thankful to my guide who guided me this way. So, and then next one is before you test your data for further analysis, generally we check our data for whether it is normally distributed or not. If the data is normally distributed, right, we can, that means it is a bell curve, right? I'll show you what does a normally distributed um, data looks like. So this is a mean, that is the average, right? So the data falls, majority of the data falls on the mean area, right? And others are scattered in a bell format. So this type of data is, if their majority of the data is around the mean value, then it is called normally distributed data, right? It is called normally distributed data. So how to check any data for normal distribution, I'll explain it to you. I'll run a data analysis statistical test with you. After we finish this theoretical part, I'll run a test with you. Fine. And how, not only, we don't only look at the bell curve, that is a chart of the data, and then say that yes, it is normally distributed. No, we test it statistically, and for that test we call it skewness and kurtosis test. It is called skewness and kurtosis test, which according to these researchers, right, here et al and Brian 2010, right, they said that if the kurtosis is between the range of -2 to +2 and kurtosis is between -7 to +7, then my data is normally distributed. Okay. So data can be distributed in different ways, right? it can be distributed in heavy tailed and light tailed. So if you see here, right, this is light tailed. Can you see this? This is light tail. The tail is light. But sometimes the curve is like this. I'll show you. Sometimes the curve is like this. Right? There is no light tail. So this is also normally distributed, but heavy tail, because the tails are also heavily distributed. Okay, sometimes a bell will look like this and sometimes it will look like that. But if kurtosis and skewness test is within the range, we consider that data as normal distribution data. And on these normally distributed data, we can run certain type of test. Okay, we can run certain type of test. Okay, fine. Yeah. Any questions so far for me?
This normal distribution data, if you can explain again, like what does it actually mean? That we did the surveys or anything like in a correct way?
No, no. So, I'll show you. There are parametric tests and non-parametric tests. So, one parametric test is applicable to, just a moment, I always get confused on this. Right, parametric tests are applicable to normally distributed data, right? And non-parametric tests are applicable to any type of data. So if you want to apply t-test or ANOVA, then your data should be normally distributed. If it is not normally distributed, you can rest alternative test. So it is basically first set of way that which test you should apply, right?
And
It
it's
is used in
compulsory to do?
statistical. Sorry?
It's compulsory to do?
Not really.
Then it's okay.
Yeah, statisticians, right, to get a proper analysis, it's better to do this normally distribution data to apply certain type of test, but it is not necessary. Okay.
Miss Malti, sorry to ask, but this will come in the exam?
Jyoti,
So
this question is
sorry. I'm a
invalid.
little worried about exam.
Don't get worried. See, as I told you, right, even I spoke to Salma now. Salma is going to arrange a session with you all, right, on Monday, and she will guide you and take all your questions. That is what she told me, right? And along with that, whatever questions you will have on exams, either me or Dr. Bindu, right, after we get a clarity from Aberte team, we will address you, right? Don't worry about that. You will be addressed, right? And about the exam date, right, as few of you have suggested, I'll convey the message to Dr. Bindu that you guys have some limitations or you don't want to postpone the exam further because you have some maybe I would say you have other commitments. So I'll ask her that we can stick to the dates. So don't worry about it. We'll take care of all the things. You
Dr.
will be
Malti,
guided well.
these many things which you are telling us, maybe everything is not compulsory, right? Like hypothesis and everything, that is something which we have to do it in
Yes.
every.
No, it's not compulsory. It's not, right?
Not even
But this,
hypothesis.
sorry?
No, hypothesis is compulsory, right? Which you told.
No, it is not. But
That
it
is
is
not
suggested that you do it because that will give your study a structure. It will give whenever you will move away from your hypothesis, you will have to come back. Otherwise, the study becomes very vast.
okay. So, but these things, especially this data, this bivariate analysis and the one which you told before, these things are like, if we want to do, we can do. So even the supervisor will tell us, right? Like what any extra things we can do.
Supervisor will tell you, right? They will give you, guide you, right? But see, bivariate analysis, it's important, right? Because it tells you the relationship between whether the two variables are dependent or independent or not. If you don't do this, don't expect an A.
So this is done like manually or is it done by any software?
As I told you in the beginning, all the if you remember this, right, as I told you, all the data analysis of quantitative analysis is done using statistical tools.
Okay.
You can use Excel, you can use SPSS, some people use R programming. So you don't have to do manually, no.
But you will tell us how to do it, right? Even on the Excel we are doing in the end of
I'm going
the,
to show you.
yeah.
Yes, after I think after 5-10 slides, I'll show you.
Okay.
Whatever I'm talking, I'll show you as a how to do it. Fine. Then bivariate analysis is basically it examines how two variables are related to each other, right? Whether they are dependent on each other or not, whether they have some correlation or not. So if you remember, a correlation means normal economics or normal mathematics. If two variables have positive relationship, means if one variable, let's say the height increases, the weight will also increase. If height reduces, the weight will also reduce. This is called positive correlation. Then there can be a negative correlation also, that is when the height increases, the weight decreases. That's a negative correlation, right, which is denoted by -1, and positive is denoted by +1. It is right. So this can be presented in this format. So upward moving curve is positive correlation. Downward moving curve is negative correlation. And if all the data sets are scattered, then it is called no correlation. Right? So we can run a correlation test between two variables. Let's say the salary and designation of the employee. Right? So you can run a correlation test, and whatever the results will come, you can interpret it. So you can see here, if the result is 1, right? If it is positive 1, it is strongly positively correlated. If it is negative 1, then it is strongly negative correlation. But if the relationship between is 0 to 0.3, it's weak correlation. 0.3 to 0.7, moderate correlation. And 0.7 to 1, strong to very strong correlation. Okay, again, I'll come to how to run the correlation test in Excel. Okay, then after you test the correlation, you will test it whether it is statistically significant or not. Once you do it, and then you are not certain, right, because there are errors. If you remember, as I had told you, that there are applied research and one is practical research, right? So practical research, you do it, and applied research is you actually apply test results. So in STEM streams, right, you have very less error acceptance. That is, and when you're testing your medicines on animals, or you are testing your medicines on humans, the error should be very less, right? That is 0.01. That is 1% error applicable is there. But if it is a social science, that leadership has an impact on decision making, leadership has an impact on attrition rate, it doesn't make any difference if your error is 5% or 10%. So that is why we test our statistical results for its significance, right? So significance level is most of the time for social studies, like for our studies like your research in management, healthcare, which are based on social studies. So there the error is acceptable as 0.05 alpha, right? But in clinical trials, the 1%, that is 0.01 alpha, is also very high, right? So for that, it's important that whatever results, statistical correlations or results you're getting in statistics, you should test it for statistical significance, right? So for statistical significance, we run t-test, we run regression and correlation. Okay, how to understand that result, right? By p-value. If p-value is less than 0.05, the relationship is, the test is considered statistically significant. If it is greater than 0.0105, then it is treated as insignificant. That is, you cannot rely on it. Okay, I will again show you this. We'll come back to these slides again. Okay. So in case so Marta, sometimes, sometimes during our these research statistics, that is just like your study, we can also take alpha as 0.1, that is 10%. That's fine. It depends on the type of study and what your statistician tells you, but general rule of thumb is for clinical trials and medical studies, the alpha is very low, and for social studies, it is most of the time 0.05. Okay. So we will be understanding in 0.05. Even my PhD was taken in alpha level of 0.05. Right? Hypothesis we have already done. Right, so then the alpha level, right, in error, I was talking about type of error. So there are two types of error, right? The first type of error is called type 1 error, right? This occurs when the researcher assumes that relationship exists when in fact the evidence is that it does not exist, right? So the probability of committing a type 1 error is called alpha. Right, as I told you, in social studies, most researchers select 0.05 alpha level. This means that you are willing to accept the error probability of error as 5%. Fine. Now let's come to the second type of error. This error occurs when the researcher assumes that there is a relationship, assumes that relationship doesn't exist, when in fact the evidence is that it does. So it is other way around as compared to type 1 error. So the researcher should reject the null hypothesis and accept the research hypothesis, but the opposite occurs. Right? So the probability of committing a type 2 error is called beta, which we are not going to look, and majority of the social studies don't look into this type of error, that is type 2 error. We always focus on type 1 error. Right, so instead of proving something, we actually say that yes, whether we type of reject. Okay, then for this also, right, for this also we look at the p value, right? For accepting or rejecting the hypothesis also, we look at the p value, right? So here, if you see the p value is greater than 0.05, where the where we say that yes, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Right, so we generally don't say that we accept the null hypothesis or we accept the alternate hypothesis. We always answer that whether we accept the null hypothesis or we fail to reject the null. We say we fail to reject the null hypothesis, or we say we reject null hypothesis. We don't say we accept the null hypothesis. If you remember, we had said that it's easy to reject the application of the theory, but rather than saying yes, this theory is applicable. So we either accept or reject the fail to reject the null hypothesis, or we reject the null hypothesis. Okay, we generally don't say we accept the null hypothesis. Then till here we understood that correlation, that is there is a relationship between a variable x and y, but how much correlation is there, right? If one variable increases, let's say the height increases by 1 inch, how much height will increase, how much weight will increase? That is being told or predicted by the test called regression. What is that test called? That's called regression. Right, so after correlation we run a regression test which tells us the answer in multiple r, right, where we say that if there is a strong positive relationship, so 1 inch increase in in height will lead to some particular value which tells us in the form of r that this much weight will increase, right? Then again, to test the regression, we'll look at the p value. We'll run the p test to test its significance, right? So we'll run all these tests on the Excel sheet for more clarity. I know that you are all are lost. Sometimes you get lost, but I'll run the test for you to see it and experience the same and practice it on the data. Jana, there's no need to get overwhelmed. That's okay. Right? Shall I start without delaying the discussion? Let's start with the analysis. Just a minute. I'm trying to share the screen. Okay. I'll share the Excel sheet, guys. And when you're able to see my Excel sheet, please tell me. And um, what I would suggest is that during this Excel sheet analysis, we'll go for by one question, and after each section, I'll ask ask you guys to ask questions. In between, it would be great if you don't ask questions. You refrain from asking questions because then it disturbs the flow and it disturbs everyone. Right? So I'll show you some question. First, I will show you the first question, right? And then I'll ask you if you have any questions. I'm ready to answer it. Then you can ask your questions. Is it okay, guys? Right? That will make me also comfortable and it will not move away the class, flow. Thank you. I'll start sharing my screen, and when the Excel sheet is visible, just let me know. Is it
Yes, we can
visible?
see it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Ma'am, we can see, but it's a little small. The size is small.
Okay, I will zoom in. Okay, fine. Yeah, now it is
Yes.
better.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Now, see, we have this data, right? So you have a gender being given, you have been given faculty of students, right? You have been given student status. So all this data is in numbers. Now, one, it's mentioned here. Gender means one, male means one, female means two. So first, you will have to prepare this data. When you get your data in Excel sheet, in the gender, you will get one, instead of one, you will get male, female. So you'll have to replace it using, commands in Excel by gender is equal to male, female, right? So in this way, you have the options. One option means arts, two science, three medicine, four others. So you will have to make this particular thing in your Excel and make your data available. Okay. Now you can see in this data when I'm scrolling down, there are empty spaces. Okay, that means it is an incomplete data. Am I correct? Now, when the incomplete data is there, we have to first clean the data. What we have to do first, we have to clean the data. What I will do is I'll take this, right? I'll select this, right? I will select this data first, right? I will find the empty spaces. So there are many different commands to find the empty spaces in the data. The command that I will use is Control G, right? Control G, G for goat, right? G for grease, control grease, G, right? So what you will do, you will get this text box. When you get this text box, you will click on special. You will find out blanks, right? You will click on blanks and the blanks will be highlighted. You can see one blank is highlighted here. Other blanks are highlighted here. Now you know the blanks, right? You have to remove that response altogether, because if one response only, if you remove this, then the data will not be equal. If you see, I have total number of responses as 111, because the first row is title, right? So 111 now. I have blank spaces highlighted by asking Control G and going in specials. Now I want to delete this particular responses. What I will do, I will click Control minus, that is Control subtraction, Control and minus sign, right? Now what I have got, delete, right? So what I have to delete, shall I delete entire row, entire cell? No, we'll delete entire row, because I want to eliminate these responses whichever are incomplete responses. So I will click Z, OK, and these rows will vanish. Now if you see, earlier I had 111 responses, now I have 105 responses. Fair enough? So the first thing that I said is Control G, together I press, and then I press Control minus. Okay, so these are the two commands that will help you to clean your data. Now my data is clean, right? That is, I have all the entries which are fully answered. Now I can use this data for analyzing. So first step is done, that is data cleaning. If you don't do the data cleaning, all your analysis is wrong, right? So first step in exam, in your research, you have to clean the data. Fine. Now next, this is the first question, right? This is the first question, which we generally discussed, and earlier the exams used to be on around these particular questions only, and you can use this for generating your descriptive analysis. Now the first thing they are saying is that the fact you have to present the following data, following descriptive statistics, a faculty of student profile. So what I will do is I will click on this particular column. I will bring it to the new sheet, faculty of students, right? I have to understand what does faculty of students means. I'll copy this here and I'll put it here. Better now, right? Now, what I will do is I will go on pivot table. I'll go on data, right? One minute. Yeah. So in many cases, you will get your data in data analysis, or you can get a pivot table, right? So I can ask for recommended pivot table also, right? So let me select here. I will say recommend pivot table. Let's see if it is coming. It is coming in the different sheet. So I don't want it in the different sheet. So I'll just go away from here. I will go in, insert pivot table here, pivot chart, right? I'll select the range. I've selected the range, right? Existing worksheet. I want an answer here. So I'll click OK, right? Now you can see here on my right hand side, I have a pivot table fees, right? I'll select faculty of study. Okay. So I'll put it in legend series, and I will also put it in values, right? So in values, I don't want sum, right? I want count. Yes, I want count how many people are there in each faculty. So I'll click on the I function in values, click on count and say okay. Right, so now you can see the grand total of my count is 105. Instead of 1, right, I will write arts. In second column, I would write science. Right, in third column, I'll write medicine. And in fourth column, I'll write others, but there are no others. Right, so this is how my pivot table will look like. Either it is horizontally or vertically, anything is fine. Right, and along with that, it has given me a chart also. You can see. So this is how you will make the pivot table for faculty of study, because the first question was use any statistical press package. The researcher wants to conduct the following descriptive statistics. Clear? Right? Next, I will again do status of students. Let's take the status of students, student status. I will click on B. I will come to new sheet. Right, status of students. So this question was, earlier question was question 1A, so I'll change the name of the sheet here, question 1A. In second sheet, I'm answering question 1B. Student status is my question, status of the student. And what is my marks in on my coding student status I'll copy it. Right, I'll zoom in for you guys to look at. Okay, now again I'll go in insert, right, pivot table. Right, if you want to use automatic, that's fine, but I will use this. Right, so existing sheet, take a output on the existing sheet. Again, I need a count, right? Remember one thing. So what I will do, I will now show it on the axis. If I put on axis, it will come vertically. Then again, student status in values. Now again, if you see, it is giving me a total. I don't want a total, I want a count. I'll go in the values I section, do it count. Okay, you can see the count. 105 is the count. First label is undergraduates. Second is MSc postgraduates. Guys, are you able to see my screen? At least say yes or no. Please unmute yourself and say.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. 3 is PhD postgraduates. And my 4 is others. Okay, so this is how you make your descriptive analysis using your data. Right? Yeah, before I go ahead, I'm ready to take any questions, please. If you have got any questions, but I think this was pretty straightforward, but you can ask your questions.
Ma'am, why we choose actually the count instead of any other mistake of
Because frequency we want, right? If you want average, in some cases you will need average, where I'll show you. If it is a test score, you will need average, you will not need frequency. That is your right? But for number of students in which department, in which course, you will obviously need frequency, right?
So
Okay.
this Excel sheet which you showed us how to do it, this will be done for all of the questions which we are doing in the survey. Like we will do maybe 15 or 20, or only
Not
the
necessarily
demographics one.
main questions, right? For the demographics, you can do this, right?
Okay.
And for the rest, you will do your statistical test.
No, this Excel, the one which you told, this is not
Right
statistical.
now, what I told you, these are demographics. So you will run these pivot tables for demographics. That is
Okay, then
age.
the statistical you will show us now.
Yes.
Okay.
Is this for
Okay,
the
shall
upcoming
we? Yeah.
exam, or is this if you choose quantitative research?
Yeah, it is on. See, for demographics, you can do for qualitative also, no?
If I prefer qualitative research,
Yes.
ignoring quantitative, do I still need to memorize this
You
for the
don't have
upcoming
to
test?
memorize it, but you will show. You will tell the profile of your respondents, right? You will press. It's not necessary to do it because we are expecting around 6 to 8 responses, so you can count it manually and put it in the table. That's fine.
What I mean is,
But
is this needed or necessary to know for the upcoming exam?
yes.
Thank you.
Miss Malti, so you will give us a sample questions, right? So that we can practice.
I'll send you this sheet, same sheet.
All right. Okay.
By the way, can I opt for SPSS instead of this Excel format?
Yes, you can when you are doing your analysis. Yes, you can. No problem.
Thank you.
So this analysis will be done, if I say in a whole sum, it will be done in the pie charts, bar charts, line charts, and then we
Yes.
will explain it as well. And then this is the demographic descriptive analysis.
This
Then
is
we will
descriptive analysis.
yes, then we will do the inferential in which you will tell us about the statistical as well.
Yes. I'm coming to that. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to ask if this session is being recorded so that we can go
Yes.
back
Yes. Yes.
here.
Doctor, one last question. Any Excel formulas are there?
No formulas. Only thing I'll show you how to use these tests right in Excel, and you can look at the recorded sessions when you're practicing.
Okay.
They are user friendly, right? Just like we use all the commands in Excel, so they are user friendly. My screen is visible to you guys?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Fine. Now the third question is smoker profile for female and male. Now they want the profile or frequency divided into females and males along with the smoker's profile, right? So we will need two type of uh, data. One is smoker profile and gender. So let's take gender first. Now this is question number 1C. So if the same pattern comes in, you have to do the calculation in different sheets for different question, right? So it is 1C, right? Then smoker profile you will copy again and go in the sheet of 1C, put it here. Now I will copy the instructions for all the right numbers. Now we will run the smoker profile, right, based on gender. Now again I'll select these two, right? I will insert. If you want to go for pivot table, recommended pivot table, you can go, but I would go for pivot table chart. No, sorry. Yeah, you can go for pivot table or you can go for chart also together, right? Existing sheet here. Okay. Put it here. Okay. Now a chart will come. Gender you can put it in legend, and smoker profile you can put it in excess. Now either of this, if you can put in count, gender or smoker profile, because the ultimate total count is 105. Again in the count you will have to go in the count, right? So it is okay. So now I have 105 counts. Now we have more. How come we have more? What is control G? Yeah, so I have taken this as a data. Sorry guys, I'll just go back again, delete it. So now I will choose the data again, show my insert pivot table. right? Let's go OK. So I can see the gender and student profile. I'll put gender in columns, student profile in rows, right? Again, I will count and say OK. Again, same mistake, it is happening. Let me select only this data because it is taking my enter data also. Now you can click on information and go for count. It will give you a number of counts. Right? You can see here. So one stands for gender, right? Males and females. And here you can say smoker profile. It is what was one was as a yes and no. Does the student smoke? Yes. And here it is no. Okay, so this is how your cross tabulation will look like. Okay, now let's come to the next question, that is cross tabulation between gender and student status. So we'll take these columns. I will say on the new sheet, that is question 1D. Right? So in question 1D, I'll paste it. If the earlier question paper continues, what you are going to do is you are going to take the pivot table from here, right? Copy this pivot table and chart and paste it in the Word document, right? And only then you will be marked, right? So you should have calculation in Excel as well as Word if the previous paper will come in. So you'll have to copy the pivot tables and paste it in the Word.
So, ma'am, there also we need to note it down like question number 1A, B,
It
C,
is
like
there.
that.
It is there in the question paper itself.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it will come in the question paper itself. So there's no need, and obviously you will put one before putting the Excel sheet answers. You will put it, and then you have to write the descriptive analysis also. That is, you can here you can see that 41 students, right, are undergrads, right? And then 28 was, that is a majority of the students, that is 41 students are undergrads, then 28 students are postgraduates, followed by PhD students and others. So the least number of students are in other streams other than PhD and MSc and undergrads, right? So you will have to put the description also, right? Like what does these frequency tables means in your Word document along with this table.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's understand this task number 4, that is cross tabulation between gender and student status. Fine. Now again I will select these two rows. I will say insert pivot table or chart together, right? And A and B existing worksheet, I'll put it here. Now I will select the gender, I'll put it in legends, and student status, I'll put in access, student status in values, again count, okay, right? So now I have 105 entries. So row labels are what? uh, Row labels are student status. So I will write down 1 to undergrads, MSc, PhD, and others, right? And in 1 and 2, female, these are males, 1 means males and 2 means female, right? So this is how your pivot table will look like. Now you will say that majority of the students, right, are in majority of the male students are in undergraduates, and majority of the females are either in undergrads or PhD students, right? And you can also say that 41 people are undergrads, so majority of the students are in undergrads program. So this is how you will describe your uh, descriptive analysis in your Word document. You'll copy this pivot table, put it in the Word document, write down your analysis below this, and move to the next question. That is question number 1E. Now, what does 1E say? So let's, instead of this, let's say cross tabulation between gender and average weight, right? So that is my question. Let's come to question number 1E. Right, so I'll take the gender and weight. I'll take the gender and weight. So here again, I'll select these two columns, sorry, and go in pivot chart. I'll say existing sheet. I will go in gender in legends and weight in axis, right? And I'll say in weight values, right? Here I want average, right? So I'll put average. Okay. Here I'm not putting count, because if I put count, look at the table, right? If I say average, hmm, so instead of average, let's say we will say max. Right? So we can find that maximum level is this much, right? So you will have a value, right? That average male and female values are how much. Okay, so this chart is giving some wrong this thing. I think the data which I have
Ma'am,
taken.
can we go with a round up or round down? Round off the value, the weights.
Uh, yes, but I am not able to understand why it is giving me so long table. That's the problem.
Imagine if we have this problem during the test.
No, you will not have. You will not
Sure.
have. Yes, I'm sure you will not have. Right? My data, I've changed the question. I've taken the data, incorrectly. Let's stick to the other one. 1 minute. because the data, if you would see, it is very, very this thing, right? Just give me a moment, right? One moment, it doesn't happen. But, maybe I'll go in the next. So I'll put gender in columns. Let's put gender in rows, right? And weight in kilos here. And weight would be my now you can see average, right? This doesn't happen. I don't know, something went wrong because I was doing something else, right? So you can see my male weight is uh, average weight of the males is 69 and average weight of the females is 58.05, right? If that happens, go to the another sheet and select it this way. So in either ways, you will get an answer. Average should not come in bigger table. Remember one thing: if the question is asked average and your table is getting big, something has gone wrong. So start over. Don't waste time. Just delete that particular sheet and start over. Okay, fine. So here it will be females. Got the point? Clear now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is your question number 1. Right, this one question is over. So whenever, and again, now you will in the description for question 1, you will write down that the average weight of males is greater than females. That is, the average weight of males is around 69.39 kgs and females is 58.014 kgs, right? So this is the description you will write down. So this here, the first question, that is your descriptive statistics, comes to the end. Fine. Now we'll move to the next part, that is part number 2, where we will be doing all these things. So first thing we have to understand here is that it is saying in the second question. Okay, before that, any questions if you have? No? Okay, we'll move ahead then. Right? So in the descriptive, in the statistical package, you have to find out whether my weight variable is normally distributed or not. If you remember kurtosis, skewness, right? I have to take the data and check whether my data is normally distributed or not. Right? So let's do that. Now watch this carefully. I have to take the weight variable. I'll take the weight variable, go in my new sheet. I will write down question number 2A. Right? Put my variable here. Right? I have my data here. Now I have to do my normal distribution. So what I will do first is I will find out my mean. What I will find out my mean. That is average, right? Average. So what is the formula for average? Is equal to AVG followed by all the values I will take. That is my 105 values. And I'll find out the value of an average and put a enter here. Right? So my average of weight is 66. Next is standard deviation. Because my normal distribution formula requires mean, that is average, and it requires standard deviation. That is why I'm calculating mean and standard deviation. So my standard deviation formula is standard deviation, right? I will have to again select all these numbers, close the bracket, right? And say okay, right? So this is my standard deviation, 9.82. Now after my standard deviation, I will run my normal distribution test. Right, before we run the normal deviation test, I will have to sort this data, right? I will have to sort this data that is in the ascending order, right? Sort smallest to largest. You can see it is sorted in the ascending order, smallest to largest. Okay. Whenever you do your normal distribution test, you will have to sort your data. Now let's put the normal distribution formula. Normal norm.dist. Fine. Now it says x means what is the number? My number is value of 42, right? Followed by mean, right? What is my mean? My mean is 66. I'll select that cell. Followed by my standard deviation, that is 9.822. Followed by comma. It is asking whether your values are cumulative. No, my values are not cumulative. So I will write down false. Okay, right? So I will write down false. So now you see, I will have to find a normal distribution for all the values here. So if I don't put my standard deviation and mean values as constant, it will keep on changing to the next row. So I want to keep it constant. So I'll put a dollar sign before B and before 1 so that my average or mean value is constant for all the rows. Same is applicable for my standard deviation, right? So I will have to put the dollar sign so that they don't change in the cell. Now I will select this. I will bring my normal distribution, stretch my formula application to all the cells till 106 number, right? So I have got the normal distribution for all the weight variables. Got the point? Right? Now, how will I know with the numbers that whether this is normally distributed or not? So what I will do, if you remember the bell-shaped curve, I have selected this. Now I will select the chart, right? I want a bell-shaped curve, right? So I'll select the line chart and see whether my variable is normally distributed or not. So tell me whether it is normally distributed or not, whether it is a bell shape or not. It is not fully bell shaped, so it has heavy tails, right? It has heavy tails. It is not, it doesn't have a light tail, but it is a bell shape, so it is normally distributed. Now, if you remember, I was telling you that we cannot say that whether the variable is normally distributed or not only by looking at the bell shape, but we have to run some statistical test, that is kurtosis and skewness, and see to its values whether it is between -2 to 2 and -7 to 7 to say that yes, my data is normally distributed or not. For that, we will need to run a test. So you will go in data tab, click on data analysis, right? And then you will go on descriptive analysis, descriptive statistics. Now click on OK, right? Descriptive analysis will select the weight variable. That's correct. They will select the weight variable. We have to take the weight variable. We don't have to take the normal distribution column. We have to take the weight variable, and I'll have to select the output. We want the output here. So as soon as I'll select OK, right, the output will come here. Can you see the output, guys? Now I will see the kurtosis. So kurtosis and skewness are between the range, right? Let's see, come back to our PowerPoint. Let me come back to my screen. Can you see my PowerPoint? Yes or no, please?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
Miss
Yeah.
Malti.
Yeah. So you can see here in kurtosis and skewness, it says skewness should be between -2 to 2. Kurtosis should be between 7 to +7. Right? Now I come back to my this thing. It is within the range. Right? So what is your analysis? Your analysis is the what type of analysis you will write down as kurtosis and skewness are within the range of -2 to 2 and -7 to 7 along.
Ma'am, your Excel is not visible.
It's
Yes,
not
ma'am. We cannot view your Excel sheet, ma'am.
okay. Okay, 1 minute. I will again share. Oh, sorry. So I will say skewness is within as skewness is within range of -2 to 2 and kurtosis is between -7 to +7. This is one thing. Along with that, the chart is bell shaped and has heavy tails, but we conclude that weight variable is normally distributed. Okay, so this is how you will do the analysis.
Hi, ma'am. Analysis is quite clear, but what I wanted to understand is this analysis. When we do it in the Excel, we copy paste the graph in the Word. We upload it, and we also have to upload this Excel along with the
No,
Word,
you will,
right?
if the same question paper type comes in or any same type of paper is published, you will have to copy this chart, right? You will
Yeah.
have to copy this table, and you have to copy this table, put it in the Word document, and analysis you will write down here or in Word document, but it should be there in the Word document definitely, and this chart should be there in the Word document. Chart, table, and analysis.
And this is during the exam, right?
Yes, 2.5 hours are more than enough. Don't worry.
Okay, clear, noted. Thank you.
Fine, shall we?
So, sorry, we're gonna work on the Excel sheet, and we will get all these stuff, and then we're gonna copy it in the Word document, right?
Yes, yes.
All
And
right, thank
submit
you.
both. If such type of exam comes, submit both Word and Excel.
Yeah, thank you.
And
And
if
if
you
you
don't
don't,
have either, listen to me, everyone. If you don't have, calculations in Excel or you don't have calculations in Word, you will not be marked, right? You should have
what,
calculations in both, in the Excel sheet saved and submitted, and the same calculation should be copied in the Word document. Only then you will be marked. Otherwise, you won't be marked.
what if you use SPSS,
That's fine. You can put a
but
screenshots.
but it's only screenshots, so no Excel.
No, in Excel also you put a screenshots of SPSS.
Thank
Or
you.
you can save this file of SPSS as PDF, or right, you can save it, your analysis, and submit it.
Ma'am, even this table also we can take the screenshot from the Excel and put it in the Word, right? Not it should not be like editable, right? It is okay, right?
Yeah,
We
that's
can.
fine. You can take a screenshot and put it. That's fine.
So this, if in case 20 questions are there, so 5 descriptive, we have done it. So the rest 15, we will do this all separate questions, all 15 statistical analysis, right? So there will be 15 statistical.
Not necessary. We don't know the question paper as of now.
No, not like I'm asking about the question just as a part of like our research, for example, if we are doing.
Yes, yes.
So
See,
if
you
I,
won't have so many statistical tests because you're developing only one or two hypotheses, not many, right? Because your scope is less, you have less time. How many questions will you ask?
but we need
For
to
my
ask
thesis, for 5
right?
years work, I had developed only 4 hypotheses.
Yeah, but in the survey you said that we need at least 20 questions. From 20 we need 5 demographic, which will
Yeah,
have a descriptive analysis.
yeah, yeah.
So the rest 15, it depends that which one is include, which questions
See,
are included
for
in the
one variable, for one dependent variable, like whether you have a good work-life balance or not, right? So for only one variable, you will ask only one question. No, you will have to ask 4 or 5 questions.
Yeah. So, for example, if I'm asking about the employee performances and the burnout, and there are two, you, because last time you said that we need maximum 2 independent variables and 1 dependent, right?
Maximum, yes, maximum.
Maximum, right? So to not to have a too much vast research. So in that case, then our hypothesis questions will be maximum 2 or 3. So on that basis, statistical
Maximum two.
analysis.
Two maximum. Don't go more than 2 hypotheses.
So then statistical analysis, the one which you showed us right now, that will be 2 also, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay. And then the detailed description in written form.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, shall we move ahead? Yeah. Then next question here is describe the strength of a relationship type between weight and height variable. Is the relationship between two variables statistically significant or not? So here we have to test the correlation between weight and height variable. Right. So let's go for the new sheet. Question number 2B. Right. So let's put the weight and height variable. Right, I need to test the correlation between this. So again, I'll go in the go in data analysis, right? Go for uh, uh, the test called correlation. Okay, correlation, because we want to understand the correlation. It has already selected auto, right? A and B column output range is already selected, so I'll click OK. Now you can see here the correlation is around 0.733, right? Let's come back to my PowerPoint, right? In correlation, if my correlation value is positive, that means it is a positive correlation, right? It is between 0.7 to 1, that means it is strong to very strong correlation in this case. Fine. Now I have to test whether my correlation is statistically significant or not. So for that, I will run a test called regression. My Excel sheet is visible, guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I'll again go to data analysis, say regression. Click on regression. Now I will select in regression, I will select column A, which is one variable, column B, that is another variable, right? Are there labels? Yes, there is label. What is my alpha level? 0.05. So my confidence level is 100% minus 5%, that is 95%. Alpha level is in percentage, which we said 0.05, that is 5%. So my confidence level is 95. Where will I get an output? I need an output here. Sorry, sorry guys, sorry. So I'll click on output. Output is here. I'll click OK now. Let's see. Something is not correct. So here I have to give the specific range of my values. Okay, be sure that you're giving a specific range of your values here. So I'll select 106 values here. For B also, I will select the particular values. Okay, now if I say I'll output, I want it here. This is where my output should come. I'll say okay. Can you see my output? Yeah, p value is. Now, when you get values like this, where E is mentioned, right? You have to click on those, go on format cell, right? Go on number. It's general, so go on number, click select number. So it will give you an answer. So p value is less than 0.05, right? If you remember, to whether my test is statistically significant or not, right? I have to look at the p value. So let me come back to our PowerPoint, right? To correct whether my test is statistically significant or not, right? If my p value is less than 0.05, the relationship is considered as statistically significant. If my value would have been, more than 0.05, the relationship would have been statistically not significant. But here my output is less than 0.05. So what I will write down here is I will write down as the p value is less than 0.05. The test is the correlation between height and weight of students is statistically significant. And what was my correlation? Correlation between height and weight of students is strongly positive, right? It is strongly positive as it is 0.7. Am I making sense, guys?
Yes, doc. Thank you.
Okay, great. Right, so this is how you will conduct your correlation. Fine. Just give me a moment, please. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so let's come to the next question. It is saying that a C question, right? Let's take this question. Your task involves trying to understand if the marks scored by students, right, by female and male employees are different. For this, you need to identify dependent variable and independent variable. You have to define the null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis, and which test is appropriate to answer the question, and which is the test decision and conclusion. So let's put this question in the new sheet. That is question number 2C. Sorry. Fine. So first you have to decide which is a dependent variable and independent variable. Fine. So the first question, it is saying that there are two variables. One is gender and another variable is marks. So what do you think? Which variable is dependent? Independent variable. Independent variable. Gender is my independent variable. Right. Second. And what is my dependent variable? Obviously, marks are my dependent variable because marks varies from gender to gender. Gender is not dependent on marks, and we can assume that marks are dependent on gender. So marks are dependent variable. Okay, this is answer to question number 1. Now you have to define the null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. Null hypothesis is always denominated by HO or HU, right? So HO. What does always null hypothesis say? That there is no significance, right, impact. Am I correct? What was the null hypothesis that we were understanding? I'll just show you here. Yeah, so always null hypothesis says that there is no relationship between, right? Or there's no significant relationship. And alternate says there is a relationship, right? So let's write down. Null hypothesis says there is no significant relationship between marks and gender of student, right? And in H1 you will write down there is a significant relationship between marks and the gender of the student, right? So this is your null hypothesis, this is your alternate hypothesis. You are not doing saying that there is a positive, there is a negative. No, you are just trying to understand whether there is a relationship or there is not a relationship, right? Now, which test is appropriate in order to understand the relationship between any dependent and independent variable? There can be many tests, but in this case, the simplest test we are applying is t-test, right? You can also apply ANOVA, t-test. It depends on your data. But for this simple data, right, what we have, we are using t-test. Now it is saying what is the t-test decision and conclusion. What is a t-test decision and conclusion? So let's bring the data in now, right? Let's bring the data in now. So let's say gender and marks, right? So I'll take weight as marks because I don't have a variable here in this sheet. This is gender and marks. Fine. Now, I would suggest that you guys pay a good attention, right? Now, in t-test, we need a gender we know, right? So we are comparing the marks of two genders, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to collect the marks of one gender in one column and other gender in another column. So what we'll do is we will sort this data as per gender, right? I'll sort this data as per gender, column gender, smallest to biggest. So my one, that is male marks, will come first and female marks will come another time. Can you see now all the male marks have come first and then followed by female marks, right? So this is here male marks. So I'll copy the marks of males. copy it, paste it here. Guys, my Excel is visible to you guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Then in the second column, we will say marks scored by female students. So I'll go down where my 2 starts, that is a coding for female. I'll start collecting my data from here, right? So this is female. So you can see that I don't have equal number of male and female students, right? So here there is a difference in the number of variables for male and female students. Now I will run a t-test because t-test asks me to run my test in this manner, right? So I'll select the data, right? Or first I'll go on the data tool, data analysis. I'll select t-test with unequal variables because I don't know whether I have any variance or not. I have not calculated. So I'm running it very simple. Post sample assuming unequal variance. I don't know what is a variance for my sample. So this is the safest test. I will select this. Now, let's select the variable 1, right? This is my variable 1, column G. Variable 2, column H. Okay. Then, whether they have labels? Yes, they have labels. What is an alpha label? Error 1 label 0.05. What is my output? My output is this. Here, I need an output here. Let's run the test. Now you can see my t-test results are here again. You can see here my t-test is again coming in E value, right? Two-tail. We have run the two-tail test, right? So I will take the two-tail P value, right? I'll select this column. I have again an E value. I'll go in format cells, number. Okay. So again, my value is far less than 0.05. So what do you think? What do you think when now my value t-test value, p value for t-test is less than 0.05. Let's come back to my PowerPoint, right? We have a hypothesis. We had developed a hypothesis here. If you remember, I have developed a hypothesis. What is a hypothesis? There is no significance relationship between marks and gender of the students. This is my hypothesis, right? Now, when my p value is less than 0.05, right? Not significantly statistics, and you fail to reject the null hypothesis. So this is going to be my conclusion, right? This is going to be my conclusion that my test, according to the test, my according to the test, my statistical test is not significant, and you will say that we fail to reject the null hypothesis. That means, right, that we fail to reject that there is no significant relationship between marks and gender of the students. That means there can be some type of relationship between marks and gender of the students. Got the point? So even if such type of questions directly won't come in the exam, but you will be asked that you may be given p value and you may be said that this is a hypothesis, and according to the student, right? Student has said that we we reject the null hypothesis. So is the analysis correct or not? So what you will get? Yeah.
Doctor, one question. Why we are not taking the upper value, this P, this
Because
one?
we had selected two tail, right? In the t test, we had selected two tail unknown variance. If you remember, right, I told you because we have two type of data, right, and then we went for this test, two sample assuming unequal variances.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll pick this answer. Right? Any other? Yeah. So I'm ready to take your questions, guys. So even directly, these questions may not come, but indirectly.
Many questions on my head, but I'm also thinking like I think it is better to take it slowly, step by step, and then definitely we will have supervisors, we will have Salma, Raya, and all of you to support us in between.
Yes.
Did you manage to speak to Salma in during the break time, ma'am?
Yes, Rashmi,
Okay.
as I updated, Salma will be taking your session on Monday. She will send you an invite and she's going to take you through the LMS. That is
Okay.
what she.
Because for me what is important is during the exam, as you mentioned, if I recall it correctly, I don't know, we have to download it, we have to work on it, and then we have to upload it, right?
Yes.
We have to download the questions. So this is what I need. For me, this is my focus, is like what I wanted to understand is how to download it and how to, then we work on it and how to upload it. All those things, I think it's
She will
important
tell you.
for us to
Don't worry.
understand.
She will tell you. She will
Okay,
tell
clear.
you. She has told me that I should convey to you that she's going to talk about your logins, about your logins, and how to access the LMS. She's going to guide you in that session.
Clear.
Right. Yeah, Dr. Malti, are we done for today, or there's still some
No,
slides?
we have still. We'll do the MCQs because I have application based MCQs for you, and
All right.
we are not done for the day. So just hold on, and one or two slides more are there, right? So about the SPSS software and about the
Hello.
parametric and non-parametric test.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
I think there was a mistake in the last calculation example. The p-value was less than 0.005. Was not.
Yes.
Yeah. So normally the conclusion is wrong.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, Meher, thank you. Right, so the p-value was less than 0.05. Right, so my test was statistically
Right
significant.
in the chat, but
And
didn't figure out.
yes, I'm sorry, the other way, right? Sorry about that, guys. So you will write down in the calculations or in the conclusion that the test is statistically significant, and you reject the null hypothesis. That means there is some relationship between the variables and the test is statistically significant. I'm sorry, I'll correct the analysis and send you the file. Right? Apologies. Okay. Fine. So shall we go on the MCQ part again on the Vagrant? Is it okay? Sabrina, what question do you
Sure.
have? Sabrina, you have sent me an email, right? That's what. I will answer it separately. I cannot discuss it right now.
No, it's. I know. Just
Okay. Marta says after this class, can we still reach out for any questions? I'm sure I will have many. Yes, Marta, no problem. You can reach out to me for the questions, right?
Yeah, I don't have any problem about the time of my mail. You can answer when you can.
Yes,
It's
I can.
about the question. Just like I said, can you explain clearly about Excel sheet and Word?
Sabrina, as I told you, right, let's not discuss this, right, because we don't know that this format will come again or not, right? What type of format is going to come in the exam? So we will have a separate session on this. But okay, I'll explain it to you, right? Whatever calculations we did in the Excel, right? Whatever calculations we did it in the Excel, you have to copy those calculations and put it in the Word document. Save the Excel sheet with the calculations, save the Word document with your calculations and explanation and analysis, and submit the both on the LMS. That is what the practice we did followed for the examination that was conducted till last time. And if the same practice happens for you, you have to follow the same. Do the calculations in Excel, copy these calculations from Excel to Word document, save both, submit both Word document and Excel. If anything is
Okay.
missing in any of the documents, you won't be marked.
Okay, and all the answers, for example, if there are 10 answers, all
Yes.
on the Word, not different
Yes.
document for all answer. Yeah.
No, no. Only one Word document and one Excel. Right? Excel
Okay.
will have different sheets. Like I was adding some worksheets, right? But it is going to be one file.
Okay, one file for MCQ and one file for Excel.
Yes, MCQs
Okay.
and your data analysis will be same on the one Word file itself.
Ah, okay. Okay, donc one document Word with MCQs and answers from Excel, past it, and the other
Yes.
one Excel with all the answers.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah, Hala, very, very important question you have raised. I wanted to discuss that also. I'll
May
again
I
share
ask?
my screen. Yeah. Mortis, tell me, can I answer Hala's question and then I'll come back to you?
Sure.
Yeah. So, if you don't have, the data analysis link on your on your Excel, in this Excel sheet there, in the beginning on the sheet one, there is one link, support.microsoft.com. You will have to click on that, and then it will tell you to install this data analysis pack for yourself. As soon as you will install it, this data analysis will appear on your data tab, right? So when I'll send you this Excel sheet, you will click on this, and the data analysis tab will come on your, on your Excel, right? So I'll send this sheet to you after our session.
But you know that there is a manual way for that.
Yes, there is, but I don't want to discuss that. If you
All
know
right.
it, you can use it. Yes, yeah, Dina, you can use it, right? You have to install the tools, right?
Yeah.
So Hala, you can use this link, or maybe you can close your Excel sheet and open it again, then it will appear.
Miss Malti, after this session, are you gonna take one more session later for the new
No,
format and all for the exam
see,
which
for
will come?
our new format, you will be informed by Dr. Bindu, me, or Salma. We'll come back to you. We will not keep you in dark. We will not keep you in any compromising situation, right? Don't worry about that. Believe me, you will be taken care. Right?
All
Let
right. Thank
the
you.
clarity comes from about a team.
Doctor, please help me with a bit of certainty. Help me to understand so I don't need to stress. Using
Yes.
SPSS. So taking screenshots, save that on a Word document, then I would be submitting two Word documents as opposed to one Excel and one Word. Keep in mind, I'm using SPSS. There's no Excel for me. How do I go about?
Then how will you
And the
show the
upload procedure.
calculations? How are you going
Excuse
to
me?
show us proof of calculations in SPSS? You can save the SPSS file as Excel also. Am I correct? Or you can save your SPSS calculations in the form of PDF also. What is?
Would I be able to upload PDF on
Yes,
the
you
LMS?
should. Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, now let's do some quiz, right? And don't get overwhelmed. I'm there all the time to answer to your emails, right? Or WhatsApp. I would suggest to stick to emails. That's better because see, you and I are in the different time zones, right? And if I don't come back to you, right, for more than 12-15 hours, then you can send me a reminder. But otherwise, I'm in India time zone. We all are in different time zones, so I may take little longer to reply to your queries on email or WhatsApp. But don't panic, I will come back to you if you have any queries. Okay, so let's do a small quiz. Just a moment. It will help you to revise your concepts.
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, about the weight of each section of the exam. How many points do you get for each section?
Again, same thing. As the pattern is going to change, you will get all the information on it. Right? I cannot say anything on it right now. Right? So let us wait for Aberta team to get back to us. I have no clue on this. So as soon as we get the information, we will come back to you. Okay. Sorry, guys, my system is running slow. Just give me a moment because this recording session it becomes a little slow. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I'm putting the link in the chat box. No, the slides are not being shared. I'll share it after our session. So this is your link to your quiz on statistics and hypothesis testing. You can start.
Where is the link, ma'am? In the chat box.
Yes, it is in the chat box. Are you able to see?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Yes, Farida, Excel and PowerPoint. I'll share both. Okay, I can see many people have finished the quiz. Let's wait for others to finish. Okay, everyone, I can see majority of you have finished. If you have got any questions for me, you can ask. So I guess this quiz has helped you to, think on what we have, revise and think on what we all have discussed till now. Yes or no? Can I have some feedback? Such quizzes are helping you to understand the concepts or think on the concepts. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for the feedback. Right? If you have got any feedback or you want me to, implement something in our sessions, you can tell me now. You can put it in your feedback, or you can mail me. Right? If you have any questions, please ask. Yes, Ahmad, I will send it to you just after our session gets over. Right? I'll send the Excel and the PowerPoint both.
Doctor, sorry, can I ask you something?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Also, can you share with us like plan for our like all the discussion that we did for our assignment or like this project, like plan or something, so we will not forget any step.
Yes, you will get it.
Thank you
That
so
you
much.
always get it, and this time also you will get it. So don't worry.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, you can reach out to me, Hala. No problem. Yes, Meher, you can access the quiz alone. Do you want the access to the quiz later on? I'm not sure, but this is valid for next 24 hours.
Thank you, ma'am. Just this again, kind of dumb question, but this business research method, that's what we are doing, and this the point is 15 credits, right?
Yes.
And then we have the research proposal, which is again after 15, and then management investigation project will be 30. This total will be 60. What are, like, is it our total point 60 or it's 100? Or did I miss out something?
Uh, Let me open the document, right? Even I'm not. You will be given out of 100, right? Why would you be given out of
I don't know,
60?
because this is maybe top up module design. Maybe the other 40, well, is from the part one. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe
Mm,
if other students can also, if they have idea, maybe you can also share, please.
I
So you
think
can.
it's 60 credits. 60 credits, 100%. So your percentage is 100, but your credits is 60.
Oh,
Hence why it comes down to 60. 15 plus 15 plus 30. So that's
this
the total
total credits, the number
credits.
is 100, right? Is it?
Yeah, percentage is 100, number of credits is 60. Am I correct, doctor?
Yes. So what more clarity Salma can give you on this, right? Like how many how you will be marked, right? So Salma will give you on Monday. She's going to take a session. You can ask her.
Clear, clear. No worries, no worries. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
So
you.
Miss
doctor,
Malti,
I'm all
can
the
we
way
get
from Hong.
this quiz link for our practice for later?
Mm, the link I have already shared with you, right? I think that should
Yeah,
work.
for this was for our class, right?
And
Like
this
for
these quizzes, right? They are open to public on Bayground. So I have not kept it private. So if you will go and search the same heading, that is research methods or statistics, so you will find these quizzes. Even if I have created, but I've kept it open for the public to have an access. So you can have an access.
So
all right,
doctor,
thank you.
Monday's coming together session. Will that be recorded? I am in Hong Kong. Our time is a little different from yours. It's
Yes,
almost 1:30
yes.
here.
All the sessions are recorded. So Salma's session will also be recorded.
Okay, cheers. Thank you.
Okay. Elsie, yes, it should be moved. It should be moved, right? So let's see how it comes. Okay, fine. So thank you everyone for your time. And if you have got any questions, you can reach out to me, right? And all the best, right? And if there are any updates, me or Dr. Bindu will come up to you with the updates and we'll guide you. Don't worry about that. Have a good weekend ahead and don't worry about it. All the best,
Thank you,
everyone.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.